So recently, it's been brought to the forefront the what's called the 4B movement. The 4B movement, and this is a movement of women, very angry, radical feminist women that are declaring they will no longer have sex, give birth, or date men at all until Donald Trump is no longer president. And, essentially what they're trying to do is hold the pussy hostage. They want to hold pussy hostage. But I think the unintended consequence of this is actually going to be something good because, first of all, you might not know it as a man, but you don't want to have a baby with a feminist. You don't want to be in a relationship with a feminist. I've done it before. It's the worst thing you could ever do. These are the biggest narcissists on the planet. These women are. They never do anything wrong. Everything is always about them. You can see in how they have conversations. They've made this whole election. Donald Trump has gotten elected. They're trying to make this whole election about them. Prior to Donald Trump being elected, they tried to make the whole election about them. We want our rights to kill babies. We just have to kill babies. If we're not able to kill babies, we're not giving anybody no pussy. Like petulant children. These women are petulant children. So they have their 4B movement, which like I said, the unintended consequence is great for men. It's a net positive for men because these women are satanic. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. You have a baby with one of these women, they're going to destroy the baby. The baby's going to come out gay. They're going to turn it gay. They're going to turn it into some kind of a transgender or some kind of a freak. So you really don't want to have a baby with women like this. Them taking themselves out of the dating pool is probably one of the best things that possibly could happen to men. And then secondly, a lot of these women are overweight. Not that I have anything against overweight women, but a lot of these women are very, very overweight, massively overweight, and not very attractive women in the first place. So overall, I think this is a net positive for men. But nonetheless, we're going to take a look at a couple of interesting things surrounding this 4B movement because it's essentially something that men did a long time ago. You don't hear it so much anymore, but at one point, men had the MGTOW movement, men going their own way. And those men were called incels. They were called hateful. They were taken off of YouTube. And they were met with all type of disdain from the mainstream media. But not these women. Not these women. These women are being applauded as brave. And a lot of them, frankly, say they hate men. They hate men. Let's take a look at some of the differences. The people want to talk about sexism. We always talk about sexism. But let's look at this. All right, so let's see. Let's look at this first. We'll look at the 4B movement, okay? 4B movement surges in interest among U.S. women after Trump election win. All right. The rise of 4B in the wake of Donald Trump's reelection. Now, you see this, they're framing, the mainstream media, they're framing this as, somehow these women are brave. This is a movement. This is a strong movement. Women are waking up. In the wake of Donald Trump, we have these strong, brave women that are using their pussies and holding their pussy hostage because they want to be able to kill their babies. Right. So, I mean, the media is not calling these women hateful, as these women are hateful. They absolutely and utterly hate men, but they're not going to be described in that. Look at these articles. A world without men. Inside South Korea's 4B movement. So this article is gloating about a world without men. Absolutely satanic. Now let's flip that. Let's flip that on the other side and see how they talked about the incel movement. The incel movement was nothing except the 4B movement switched over and about men. Let's see what they call the incel movement. Incels inside a dark world of online hate. Totally different thing. Let's see. The incel movement is a form of extremism, and it cannot be ignored any longer. So, when women are pushing online hate, they're brave, they're beautiful. This is a movement of strong women. But when men literally do the exact same thing, it's a form of hate. This is exactly why Donald Trump got elected. These people hate men. They hate God. They hate anything. They hate anything that is traditional, anything that is good, anything that is reasonable. They absolutely and utterly hate. Like I said, they're extreme narcissists. Be in a relationship with a feminist for just 5 minutes. She's gonna make everything about her. You're a man and you're wrong no matter what. This is literally their ideology. So we're gonna take a look at some of the feminists. These are some of the feminists. We're even going to look at one man, probably a gay man, and we're going to see what they think about men. And we're also, what I want to check for is if how men were treated, the incels were treated. Are these women going to be treated the same way? Okay, we're gonna look at some of their rhetoric, and I'll come back with some commentary. Let me turn my audio on so I can hear it. All right, here we go.
Planets, and they are we have the power to make morons go extinct like dinosaurs. The morons here are just creating mediocrity. They are creating harm to Mother Earth, disrespecting the planets, and they are cancer to the planet. We don't
To give you some context, she's talking about men. She's saying, "Oh well, if you have a baby, she's a 4B bitch, and she's if you have a baby with a man, you're a moron. You're just creating morons." And do you see what they're doing to Mother Earth? They're harming Mother Earth. Gosh, just unbearable bitches. These are some unbearable bitches. I hate women who talk like that. Women who are all about nature and listen, nature as she kills a baby. I guarantee you this bitch is for abortion. She wants to talk about how we're destroying the planet, but has no qualms, no problem at all whatsoever when it comes to killing a baby in the womb. But she wants to protect the planet. Oh, get the fuck out of here. If you're not willing to protect a baby in your womb, then don't tell me about shit about the planet. I don't want to hear about the planet. You don't give a fuck about the planet. You don't care about what's inside of you.
need that, okay? We can live without mediocrity. We can live without the morons, okay? And if you're continuing to procreate with morons, you're just making little morons. We don't need that sugarfoot. Y'all acting like pregnancy is not a high risk as a woman.
We're not going to listen to that. I mean, I do take the point that you shouldn't procreate with morons. That's kind of the whole point of the show. But what she doesn't understand is she's one of the morons that you shouldn't procreate with. I'm talking about you. We shouldn't be procreating with bitches like you, Mother Earth bitch. Bitches like her. You can't tell me she's not hell at home. You can't tell me she's not hell. Now she's an attractive woman, which is vastly different from most of the 4B women. But just listen to her language. Men are morons. You can procreate with morons, idiots. That's what they think of you. And this is greenlit by people like Kamala Harris. This is greenlit by people like Oprah. This is greenlit by people like Beyonce. These are greenlit by the forebears of the mainstream media because they want to see a satanic rearrangement of the natural order. The natural order is God over man, man over woman, woman over children. They want to radically rearrange that. They want to put woman over man, children over man. Did you hear about that court case in Texas where the 2 year old turned into a the mother turned the 2 year old into a transgender. The father protested it, and the courts essentially told the father to shut the fuck up. We're gonna cut off the penis of your child. We're gonna cut off the penis of your little boy and start calling him a little girl. That's what they've done. We're not gonna look at any more of that. Let's see this girl.
About can women in America actually implement the 4B movement? The simple answer is no. Women in America are way too thirsty for men. And men know that. Too thirsty for men's attention, too thirsty for men's validation, too thirsty for the sexual desires that they have from men. With all of that, there's no way that women in America as a whole, as a collective, could implement the 4B movement. I've been made the decision a while back to stop dating, not get married, not.
Good for you, bitch. Good for you, bitch. I mean, that's actually true too. I mean, women over here do tend to be hoes. Okay, So the 4B movement, it would never last. I don't know why black women would get involved in it anyway. This movement started in South Korea. Started in South Korea. Why would black women in the United States listen to women from a country where half of the country is run by a midget with Down syndrome? It's North Korea. And I'm talking about Korea as a whole used to be a country, then they split. And so half of Korea is run by a midget with Down syndrome. And that's what these women are listening to. This 4B movement thing started in South Korea. But that's actually to her point. That's actually kind of true. It's never gonna. It wasn't gonna work anyway. But it's especially not gonna work just because we have a deep hoe culture here in the United States, which was wrought by feminists. That kind of gives you an idea of just how confusing feminism is. It's a very confusing ideology. At one hand, they want to be sexually liberated and have sex with as many men as possible. Then when something doesn't go their way, they want to hold the pussy hostage. No, this is absolutely ridiculous. Let's look at one more video, I guess. I haven't seen
Hi,
this one.
yes. In
Let's look at this one.
regard to the 4B movement, here's a motion I would like to bring to the people. Okay. When men touch us, that unsolicited touch they do when they're trying to get our attention, speak to us, begin to ensnare us in their drama, that is, them being a man and wanting something from a woman, can we start screaming? Can we just scream from there and be like, ah? Can we do that? Because I did that recently and it was so great. It was so great.
Gosh, oh my gosh. Yeah, start doing it, bitch. Start doing it so we can all know how crazy and fucked up in the head you are. Please start doing it so we don't have to think about it. Sometimes you meet a bitch like this and you think, is this bitch really crazy? I don't know. You have your questions. Please just start randomly screaming in public so we don't have to think about it no more. We'll know your ass is crazy. Crazy as a Bessie bug. But nonetheless, it's women like this. And I don't know men that's just going around touching women. Nobody's doing that. No man is, hey, how you doing, sweetie? Pat on the back. Nobody's doing that. These women are professional victims. That is why I'm so glad Kamala didn't get elected. Because these are the Jussie Smollett type women. Always want to be victims, whether they're victims of racism, whether they're victims of sexism. Everything is through the lens of a victim. Jesus Christ. And so, take yourself out of the dating pool, please. Just, as a matter of fact, I think Elon Musk, the first thing he does when he finally builds that spaceship to Mars, let's get all of these 4B bitches. You know what? Don't even send them to Mars. Let's send these bitches to Jupiter, Saturn. Let's just send them somewhere. We don't have to deal with them. Jesus Christ, just unbearable. This is one I saw earlier. So this is one I saw earlier. This is going to be a gay man. This is going to be a gay man simping for the women. And you oftentimes see this with the LGBT movement and feminism because those movements are both wrought from Satanism. Both the 4B movement, the feminist movement, and the LGBT. They are both movements that are wrought from Satanism. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. The LGBT lifestyle kills you, it steals your joy, then it destroys you. Feminism destroys, rearranging the natural order of womanhood, rearranging the natural order of God is something that is very destructive. And so they oftentimes play on each other. A lot of times you'll see the gay community playing interference for the feminists. And a lot of times you'll see the feminists playing interference for the gay movement. So they play off of each other. So this is a gay man defending the 4B movement. Let's take a look at it.
Leave men alone don't mean that you will be left alone.
I got this video from the 4B West page, which I'm glad exists because I do believe in my heart that if you're going to change this world, hardcore radical action must be taken. The 4B movement is in fact hardcore radical action. But the brother's right. I'm not saying that some women can't beat up men or can't take men. I'm not one of those that believe that if you have the right, that believes that you can't take on anybody with the right training. but we're talking about mostly everyday women. And it's getting insane out there. The misogyny, the rape culture is getting even more insane. It's like ever since Trump got elected, he's given every subhuman, every malcontent this notion of, okay, now it's time to be me. Let my freak flag fly. And
Okay, so this is obviously some kind of a homosexual. He doesn't like pussy, so I don't think he should have an opinion on the 4B movement because he's not getting pussy in the first place. Yeah, this man is a full blown bottom, and of course he's gay, and of course he's running interference for the feminists. Just oh gosh, just unbearable, unfreaking bearable. These people are. Uh, what does he say? The men are gonna hurt you, and oh gosh.
the male freak flag hurts women. So I'm agreeing with the brother 100%. You got to protect yourself. What does Florida and them other crazy states say? Stand your ground. Well, this is going to be a stand your ground situation. You can't play with this anymore. And I would be like, let's start a crowdfunding that will raise money to make sure women can protect themselves any way this country and their laws allow.
Okay, and that's absolutely just a ridiculous notion. The fact that women, 4B movement women in particular, are being harmed in mass, so therefore they need guns to protect themselves. No, no, no. The last thing these women need is a gun, okay? Because if you call them out of their name, if you say something they don't like, they're going to shoot you. These are not intellectual, smart women who are looking for a lively debate, a lively intellectual conversation. That's not what these women are looking for. These women are looking for trouble. And if the media was worth half of its salt, the media would come out and call these women the hateful bigots that they actually are. They are hateful femcels, which are feminist incels. A lot of them have social issues. You know, they have bad anxiety. They can't get men. They don't get male attention. They don't get male validation. And so this is what it turns into. You know, it turns into hatred towards men just because a man wants a polite and feminine woman, as Kevin Samuels would always say. These women are not that, therefore they don't get chosen. Now they want to go out and get guns. All right, you heard what this guy said. The Donald Trump supporters are coming out in the full subhuman force. They literally think Trump supporters, they think we're subhumans. They call us subhuman. And you tell me these people aren't garbage people? Absolutely, they're garbage. But the mainstream media will co sign these people. The mainstream media will support these people because the mainstream media is satanic and it wants to see a radical, it wants to see a radical destruction of manhood. It absolutely does. You find me a civilization in the history of humanity. I'm going to say this, I'm going to close. You find me a civilization in the history of humanity that's been predominantly run by women. There hasn't been. It just doesn't work. There hasn't been. It is simply a biological fact that men are meant to be the leaders. It is simply a biological fact that a man is the head of the household. That's the only way it can run. We've tried this experiment in the black community. We've tried to let the single mothers lead. We have the highest crime rates in the country. We have the highest rates of poverty. We have the highest rates of broken families. Women are simply not meant to be the leaders. The minute we learn that and the minute we accept that, the better off we'll be. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. And remember to like, subscribe, share, and as always, stay woke.